What's up, crazies? Today in this video, bro, we will be reacting to Megalodon vs. Leviathan, The Ultimate Battle by Lindsay Nicolay. Sorry if I mispronounced the last name. However, this video is 2 years old, so the sizes and stuff may be outdated because I've heard Megalodon get upscaled size and Leviathan downscared, but I don't care. I want to watch and I want to see what she says and practically let's just see what happens. Like, yeah, we know they got some downsizes, but still, take the average size. If I was looking at it, if you put their sizes really in the middle, sorry for this yapathon, if you put their size in the middle, it's like Megalodon, it's like what, 60 to 6'7", Leviathan's like 45 to like 57. Taking the average, Leviathan average like 51, 52, Megalodon like 63, 64. So yeah, like a 10 feet difference, 10 feet difference on average. Alright, now let's get into it.
Shark to ever exist that we know of, but they were not alone at the top of the food chain millions of years ago. Allow me to introduce you to the Leviathan whale, the only known competitor.
I like Leviathan whale. I like Leviathan better, by the way.
And potential predator.
I used to like Megalodon better, but now I'm a Leviathan fanboy. I love the Leviathan. It's such a cool whale.
Of the Megalodon. Despite being lesser known, Leviathan inhabited the same waters.
I mean, I do like whales and dolphin, like orcas and stuff more than sharks.
At the same time as the Megalodon, competing for the same food sources, and they likely ate each other at least a little bit. So of course the question becomes, in a head-to-head battle, who would win? Today we're going to answer that question. I'm going to introduce you to Leviathan.
Let's see what the sizes are looking like though. Let's see if they're accurate or not. Like, I mean, not accurate of course to this time, but let's see how much of a big difference.
Megalodon research and give you a winner based on the stats presented to you.
As
always, we gotta get the general information out of the way. I'm gonna give you a well-rounded understanding of each of the species, so we're all on the same page about what the fuck they got going on. Starting out with our main Megalodon, scientifically Otodus Megalodon. They were the largest sharks to ever exist that we know of, and were alive between 23 to 3.6 million years ago, aka a long fucking time. Based on their fossilized teeth found on every continent except Antarctica, they were all over the place, tearing shit up globally for about 20 million years.
Bro, they ran every block. Holy.
Their teeth
got everyone on lockdown.
About 7 inches long. Have been found in bones of different prehistoric whales and seals, and bite marks on these bones even survived the fossilization process over millions of years. If you watch my other recent, marks on these bones even survived the fossilization process over millions of years. If you watch my other recent,
I didn't know that fossilization could last that long.
Ratfish.
I know fossilization lasts long, but like that specifically, that's really cool.
Skates, rays, ratfish, sawfish, all exist in a group called chondrichthyes. They're cartilaginous fish. They have skeletons made of cartilage, not bone, so their skeletons don't really fossilize. So all that's left is just a shit ton of teeth. Only under extremely rare.
Bro, if they fossilized, that would have been so cool. God damn it, cartilage. No, I'm playing, but still, bro, I kind of wish they fossilized so we could see exactly what the Megalodon skeleton would look like.
In perfect conditions, can a little bit of the cartilage be preserved. And this has only happened a couple of times with Megalodon fossils in the form of vertebrae, and I want to say part of their jaw. I thought I read that in one of the papers, but then I couldn't find it again, so take that for what it is. The point is, most of what we know about Megalodon has been determined from their teeth, along with the ultra-rare cartilaginous remains and bite marks on their unsuccessful attempts.
Nowadays, sharks?
This has led to a lot of different estimations and processes for determining those stats over the years, which, by the way, science has known about Megalodon since like 1835.
Damn.
So, some changes have been made.
God damn, bitch. One thing
Megalodon old as hell. Is they had a mouth like nobody's business.
Yeah.
With 276
look at that, bro.
Razor
That's the devil's mouth right there. The devil's anus.
Gave them a mouth that was 9 by 11 feet big, open wide. They could have swallowed you and your entire family at the same time. Well, that's probably the upper estimate. So let's just say you and a friend could have swallowed you and a pal. Their bite force also seems to have
That's still insane that a shark that size though existed.
With max estimates placing it at 40,000 pounds per square inch. For comparison, humans have a bite force of like 120 pounds per square inch. This is the strongest bite force of any animal to ever exist that we know of. What has fluctuated dramatically over the years is our understanding of their size, how big they could get. Early estimates put them at 80 feet long in 1909, even 100 feet long in 1922. I blame Prohibition. Let me actually explain how scientists even come up with those size estimates from just a shit ton of
It's diabolical. That's kaiju level.
Ratios. This is not going to turn into a math class, I swear to God. Scientists essentially take living species that are thought to be more closely related to the Megalodon, in this case, great whites, use their measurements like tooth measurements, compared to their overall body length, figure out what relationship that is, and then apply it to the Megalodon. This is like the most dumbed down way to describe it, but you remember those...
X Games mode.
Wait, hold on. Where's my marker? You remember this shit in 6th grade? Like,
let me see.
like this shit, and then you'd have to like cross multiply by an X. The body size of Megalodon is X in this scenario. This is a really shitty analogy. Okay, whatever. If you got it, good. If you
I got that shit. Thank you, Queen.
So as time has gone on, equations have shifted, variables used have been shifted. So today there are just like so many size estimates for the Megalodon.
I know.
Using all different variables. They range from like 30 to 65 feet, which honestly might just be the size range that existed anyway, because that's what we see with
60 seems more realistic.
Anyway. So regardless, they were humongo. I was planning to end the quick stats there and then move on to the Meg's competitor, the Leviathan Whip. However, as luck would have it, some new research was published about the Megalodon that is very relevant to this video. As I was researching it, it was literally just published. Would you believe the luck of that? Remember the placoid scales I talked about in the last shark video, prehistoric shark video? The skin teeth? If you haven't seen that
hell is that thing? That thing is actually like a devil's creature.
But I'll do a quick recap.
Straight from hell. I'm sorry.
Sharks.
How the hell does it make a mouth like that?
Are covered in what are called placoid scales. They have a core of dentine with an enamel-like covering. And you know what else has dentine and enamel? Teeth, placoid scales, skin teeth. Even though they are very small and
I didn't know that's
they're
cool.
fairly resistant to decay and sometimes survive the fossilization process. So they're just out there in the fossil record, just difficult to find. But a group of researchers were able to identify placoid scales in the surrounding rock or matrix.
That's so
a set of Megalodon teeth found in Japan. Megalodon placoid scales. Different groups of sharks have differently shaped really cool. Placoid scales, which can tell a lot about how water moved around the scales and thus how fast the animal was. In this case, the Megalodon's placoid scales did not match those of active fast-swimming sharks, which generally have narrowly placed ridges or keels all over. They actually seem to be more characteristic of an average swimming shark that occasionally had quick bursts of speed to snatch prey. This is a plot twist, because the Megalodon had previously been determined to be partially warm-blooded or endothermic, producing their own body heat, which is characteristic of modern, active, swimming, fast, hunting sharks. So this also led to new insights on how they burned all that metabolic heat they produced, rather than using it as active swimmers, as they thought they did. It seems as though the warm-bloodedness allowed them to digest larger pieces of food, absorbing and processing the nutrients more efficiently. And speaking of processing nutrients, I think to the Leviathan.
Let's go, my child.
You've never heard of it, there's a chance you're confused on how you've gone this long without.
This is my child right here. Look at that skull.
Fucking apparently ferocious big fucking whale. The shark
Bro, this is dead as the Joker of like sperm whales. Like, look at that. Look at those fucking chompas, mate. Look at that. You compare that shit to a sperm whale? Hell no. This is a demon right here. This is my child. Like, I'm spawning this thing. If I'm Aquaman, I'm spawning this bitch in. Look at this goddamn. This thing's an absolute tank. Like, yeah, sperm whales. You getting dicked down on some gangster shit by Leviathan.
Without hearing about this giant fucking
there's a new big dick in town, bro.
Big fucking whale. The shark is all over the place. So how did the whale get left in the dust? The simple answer is that they were only discovered recently in 2008. The Meg has been known for nearly 200 years. 200 years of discovering new shit with new techniques, franchising the shit out of them, gaslighting people into thinking that they're actually still alive in the deep ocean.
Dude, I remember that. Like when people talked about like in the Mariana Trench. You don't know, but the Megalodon still exists down there.
Leviathan whales.
I believe that shit because I just hope they were real.
Known to science for 15 years. Well, technically they weren't discovered until 2010, so we could technically say they've only been known to science for 13 years.
Wow, a little over 10 years is insane.
Luckily, though, what's been unearthed about this pubescent fossil has been able to give scientists a good idea of what they got going on. Actually, let me just make a quick note about their name, because every time I talk about them on TikTok, I get a ton of comments like, you're pronouncing Leviathan wrong.
Leviathan. Yeah. I call it Leviathan at times. Who gives a rat's? What? Leviathan?
Titan is in reference to the mythical sea monster Leviathan. It's just the Hebrew.
Leviathan.
Hebrew spelling. It was actually initially named Leviathan Melville. Leviathan Melville after the author of Moby Dick, Herman Melville. But it turned out Leviathan as a scientific name was already used for a mastodon. And with how the scientific naming system works, that shit does not fly. Like the whole point of scientific names is so that you have one name to describe one species, and you cannot possibly get it mixed up with anything else. No matter what language you speak, that's the shit. That's the shit right there. They had to change it to Leviathan Melville again. The Hebrew spelling, and that's just what it is. So, Leviathan Melville was a sperm whale that was first discovered in Peru in 2008. Individual teeth of this species have been found all over the world for over a century. So scientists knew that at some point there was some prehistoric sperm whale in the ocean about 10 million years ago, but it was kind of just left at that for a while. I don't know how they were able to gloss over that, but whatever.
Dude, I love it. That was unearthed
Leviathan's
my favorite like whale.
Everything. It was a preserved skull that was nearly 10 feet long. Just the skull. 10 feet long, which based on modern sperm whale comparisons suggests the species could get to 45 to 60 feet long, about the same size as a modern male sperm whale. So why all the fuss? They thought to be so ferocious. Well, the real nightmare.
Look at the mouth.
Because unlike their modern counterparts, which only
bro, look at that.
Be so
you look at a Leviathan. That is a jock, right? That is a Chad. That is bulky, man. Look at those goddamn chompers straight out of hell, right? Buff, eating meat and everything, right?
The real nightmare was their mass.
Then you look at the sperm whale, you look at those tiny ass sheep in that head, that is a soy boy, bro. Soy. Like, sperm whales are soy, Leviathan's the Chad. And I'm keeping it a buck. I don't care what anyone says. I like Leviathan so much better than sperm. Like, look at those choppers, bro. They look so, like, they actually look like dwarfs compared to Leviathan. Leviathan got those banana-sized teeth, and this guy got the shrimp teeth.
Their modern counterparts, which only had lower jaw teeth.
Leviathan's so much cooler.
Giant, big-ass squid. Leviathan had teeth.
I mean, they go for squid.
And lower jaw.
But look at these things. These things are going to chomp anything they see.
Yeah, like the Subway sandwich. Like the old Subway sandwich. The largest biting teeth of any animal to ever exist that we know of. These two characteristics.
Yes! Largest teeth of it. Yes! Oh my god, let's go, baby.
Chomping like nobody's business. These bitches had an entirely different hunting and feeding strategy than their modern counterparts. Based on the characteristics of the jawbones, Leviathan also had much larger attachment areas for the temporalis, the primary jaw-closing muscle, that were actually much more similar to modern killer whales, which suggests Leviathan might have occupied an orca-like niche, just on a larger scale. How's that for fucking terrifying? Their mouth was about 6 by 4 feet.
These are actually the orcas on steroids. Like, that's insane. Could you imagine those living today?
So definitely not as gaping as that of the Megalodon, but I'd still argue large enough to swallow you and a friend. At least 2 short people, so like me and a friend. And on top of the fossil skull is this large concave surface, similar to that of today's sperm whales, which house the spermaceti organ.
One's just longer and narrow. It's like crocodile. It's like a crocodile and an alligator, kind of.
Used in echolocation. They were likely able to echolocate.
Alligator.
And like other mammals alive today, the Leviathan was most definitely endothermic, which means that just like the Megalodon, the Leviathan whale would have had really high caloric requirements for their metabolism, so they likely also ate seals and other whales a lot of the time. The fossil teeth, which have been found in Peru, Argentina, South Africa, Australia, North America, and the North Sea, suggest the Leviathan had a worldwide distribution about 10 to 5 million years ago.
Everywhere.
Again, since this species is newly discovered to science, I'm going to guess that time period is going to either expand or shift a little bit. We just don't know enough about them yet to say for sure what the fuck was going on.
This video is 2 years ago.
We can definitely very confidently say at some point the Megalodon and the Leviathan whale inhabited the same waters at the same time, likely for a very long time. So head to head, who would win? Well, there's good news and bad news. I'm going to start with the bad news first. We don't know. We cannot say for sure, for a few reasons. Obviously, this question depends on the size of the individuals in question, so let's just assume average stats across the board for the 2 species. That aside, the Leviathan whale still requires a lot more research, new fossil discoveries to create a more well-rounded understanding of what they have going on as a species. And I know this is upsetting to hear, but welcome to science, bitch. Nothing is ever given to you straight. But good news. Here's the good news. I'm willing to have fun with it, because who gives a fuck?
This is what we like.
Make assumptions,
we like this. We like battles. We like 1v1s. We like getting shit done. We like throwing hands, bro. Left, right, good night.
Here's the good news.
Give me
I'm willing to have fun with it.
This shit's like dopamine for me. I need to know.
Who gives a fuck? We're just going to make assumptions, okay? For the sake of this video, we're going to make assumptions. Let's assume that the relationship between the Megalodon and the Leviathan whale was kind of like that of today's great white sharks and orcas. Since they both occupied those niches on a larger scale. They occupied similar habitats, at least temporarily, overlapping territory, going after the same prey sources, and occasionally bumping into each other for a little tussle or even a little bite. My money's on the whale. Like, done. Done deal for me, personally.
Me too.
But don't put that in. While the Megalodon might have been stronger, had a more powerful bite, the Leviathan whale had the upper hand of mammalian intelligence, which we have seen time and time again. We bitches in the dust. I mean, there are 2 orcas ripping up
stuck in the shark age. Bye, you little drone. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, great whites usually look like cones when orcas come around in the ocean.
Great white sharks in South Africa right now. Like, that is currently happening. That shit is calculated. Based on the fact that it's happening right now, I will put my money on the whale. But I would love to hear what you think in the comments.
Me too.
And if you like this video,
whales unite, bro.
So you know, my next long form video coming out next week. You can
not gonna lie, bro. W video, bro. Thank you for watching. That was W, bro. More of that in the future. Yes, this video was a little older. 2 years ago, so it's not fully up to date, I guess, on the sizes, but who cares? You look at the sizes, you remember what I said in the beginning of the video. I'm still putting my money on Leviathan. I know people like Megalodon because it's bigger, stronger bite force and shit. But I mean, I'm gonna go Leviathan. Like, look at those chompers, right? So most likely, I mean, yeah, you said like the Megalodon's going off the roots and stuff looks like it's slower, but it has those fast dashes. Comparing them to orcas and shit, I'm still gonna like. I guess at turning, I'm gonna bet it on Leviathan, especially like I feel like Leviathan's so gonna cook. Yeah, it's not just gonna be crazy one-sided, but still, if you're comparing it to like orcas and shit, I'm gonna put money on the devil whale. That's my child. Thank y'all for watching, bro. I will see you on the next one, and yeah, Leviathan. Blech.